throw you a curveball. Hold on, bro. Hold on. I got this. I got this.
You got. Okay,
I got this.
All right, go ahead.
Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast, episode number 93. I am the one and only Brooklyn Gaucho. Next to me, he's not my brother. He's not your Ed. He is God. God, how are you doing today?
Fine. God
can speak.
That seems a little over the top. I mean, I do think a lot of myself, but God might be overdoing it.
I text you earlier today to see how you're feeling, and your quick response left me a little taken back.
What did I respond?
Well, your response was...
I told you I'm good, bro.
Nah. The text says, I'm God, bro.
Really?
And yeah, you didn't see that? It says, I'm God, bro. And you responded so quick, I was like, holy shit, God's talking to me.
I thought, and you said like, wow, that's pretty good. And I'm like, what? I mean,
so you really didn't know what I was talking about?
No, I was like, well, yeah. I mean, I didn't feel hot yesterday, but I feel fine today. I was like, what's the big deal?
I'm like,
I totally missed that.
Yeah, that's where that came from.
That's
so
funny.
God is in our presence.
I am here. I'm God, bro. God, everyone knows I'm an egomaniac. Anyone who knows me and watches this is gonna be like, yeah, that dick always talks like that. He thinks he's God. He thinks he knows everything. Fucking smarty pants.
They're gonna talk shit about you in the comment section.
I guess so. Hey, by the way, did you change your Twitter handle again? Because
no,
you said you were Brooklyn Gaucho.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I mean, I'm Brooklyn Gaucho, but
your Twitter handle. Yeah,
on Twitter, I'm Brooklyn Gaucho 1.
Oh, okay. Today.
But you know. Yeah, well, as long as Twitter doesn't hate on
that's right.
on the Gaucho, you know.
Hate on the brother or on the Gaucho. I am at eMontana21 on Twitter. If you want to email the show, you can email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. I can't believe that I totally missed that earlier.
It's just the way, I don't know. The first thing that came to mind was like, whoa.
You've got mail.
I was like, holy shit. All right. Where are we going?
I'm God. I can talk about whatever I want.
All right.
So you can go wherever you want. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about.
What does God want to talk about first?
I'll let you handle it.
No.
Free will and all.
No. You first, because if I say something wrong, you're going to fucking strike. I'm going to die in the middle of episode 93.
Well, look.
Is this 93?
I think so.
I hope so.
I never know.
It's 93. It's 93.
The John Randall episode.
Was he 93?
Yeah. You like that?
Wow,
I'm doing everything backwards today.
That's
okay. I'm
okay.
God. I can do that.
That's okay.
Look, we're coming to the end of the baseball season. And we've been talking about this for months on end. And it's been, I kind of agree with you. It's been a little bit boring. There's too much of the have-nots or the haves way too much, and too much of the haves absolutely nothing. I mean, we've got 3 teams right now at 100 wins, quite possibly going to get 2 more to 100 wins, and we've already got 5 teams at 100 losses, possibly 7.
That's a lot.
I know it's
a lot of bad teams.
It's heartbreaking. Like seriously, if you're Baltimore, you're 50 games out. What are you thinking this offseason? Well, if we just get a left-handed starter, we should be okay. No, I mean, you ain't making up 50 games. Your 50 games, you got to, hope for a complete meltdown at the top. But even so, let's assume that's not going to... How do you make up 50 games? You need 4 or 5 bats.
You need the other teams.
2 or 3 starters and 2 or 3 bullpen guys. So what's that? 4 bats... 2-3. So you need like 9 players. You have to overhaul 40% of your roster.
That's like, and then you have to combine the payroll of the Red Sox and the Yankees because what players are you going to get, right? Like,
you could conceivably, right, get that diamond in the rough, right? That guy that no one's heard of, like Suarez for the Reds kind of came out of nowhere this year. you got a rookie in AAA or AA ball like Pete Alonso, and he comes in, hits 50 home runs. But other than that, I mean, you literally have to overhaul 40% of your roster to be competitive. I worry about what this will do to baseball long term.
Yeah.
Right? Because now we're into the football season, and here we are. We'll talk about this later. Here we are 3 weeks into the season, and we got all kinds of storylines. We got storylines about individuals and what they're doing. We got storylines of players that have lost players that are actually better than we thought. Teams that we thought were going to be better that are just awful. I mean, we got all kinds of storylines because anything can happen.
Right.
A team can go from being terrible like the Detroit Lions last year to being undefeated this year. And, looking very positive for maybe making the postseason. Baseball doesn't have that. It's kind of scary because baseball is, I mean, geez, what are we going to do? Is it going to be the Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, Dodgers every year?
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly the way it seems for the past 3 to 4 years, I think. I mean, it just seems like it's the same teams over and over.
It seems like it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse. And I don't think that's good for baseball. I wonder what baseball will do. I don't think if
they even think about it.
Right. And at this point, now that you mention it, I don't think shortening the season is the answer. It's you have to find a way to, divide the parity a little bit more. I mean, because shortening the season is not going to do nothing but just, know what we know a little earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Instead of knowing it in 6 months, we'll know it in 5 months.
Right.
It's not going to really do anything. Look, the only races that are left really are the wild card races. And in the American League, you got Oakland 2 games up on Tampa Bay and Cleveland, who are tied, and there's no one behind Tampa Bay and Cleveland. So it's going to come down to Tampa Bay and Cleveland this week. Who do you think is going to make it out of those two? Before you speak, let me help you out by telling you. Let me help you out by telling you.
Please tell me when I can speak, God.
That Tampa Bay plays the Red Sox.
Okay.
The Red Sox and the Blue Jays this week.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Yeah, they play the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. The Indians play... You would think I would know this off the top of my head. They play the White Sox, and then they have a 3-game set to finish the season with the Nationals, who are in the National League wild card chase as well. Right. So we'll get to them in a second. So hearing that, which one of those 2 teams makes it?
I'm going to say Oakland and Tampa Bay.
I disagree with you. I think the Indians will pull it out. Now, part of the reason I say that is a little bit selfish.
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping they do the job against the Nationals to give the Mets a chance to get in.
That would be nice.
The Tampa Bay has done a miraculous job with this whole bullpenning thing that they do. Second year in a row that they're going to win 90 games. Is it 90?
Damn.
I think it's
90. Yeah, I think they won 90 last year.
They won 90 last year, and they're at 92 this year. So they're going to win 90 2 years in a row. Good for them, but I still don't believe in it. And look, the Indians just have too much.
Yeah, I thought the same of them this whole season, but it seems like something
is amiss.
Something's not there to get them to play, a little more consistent. I don't know if it's just not having the rotation healthy all year, and they've been kind of spotty. But they've kind of slow. They've gone off to a slow start this season.
They did get off to a very slow start, but the thing that I've noticed now is they seem to be healthy.
Yeah. And
Tampa Bay is getting healthy as well. They just got Blake Snell back, so it's going to be interesting. I think the Indians squeak it out.
Think so? Well, it'll be good. I hope we see the 163rd game.
Oh, but of course. Now, where it gets really interesting is over in the National League. Because in the National League, you have Washington and Milwaukee tied atop the wild card standings. So they would be, the season ended today, they would play each other. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing here is the Nationals have 8 games left. You say, how is that possible? There's only 7 games left. There's only
days.
7 days left in the season, right?
Right,
Because
right.
they finish on Sunday. They've got a doubleheader tomorrow, so they've got a 5-game set against the Phillies, and then they have to go to Cleveland to play those last 3 games. Milwaukee has it a little bit easier. They're playing the Reds, and then they have to go finish the year in Colorado. They only have 6 games left. And then after that, you've got the Cubs, who are 4 games out, the Mets 4.5 games out, the Phillies 6 games out, Arizona 6 games out.
Damn. Traffic jam.
Is it just a foregone conclusion that it's going to be Washington and Milwaukee? Or will one of those teams crater here at the end and someone else sneaks in?
Yeah, I've always thought the Nationals were going to get in, but their bullpen is not trustworthy.
Not
to
at all.
me. Milwaukee gets in. I think you and I both agree the Mets got to win out pretty much.
Yeah.
Like the Mets, the Phillies have to win out.
Everyone, one of those teams behind the 2 in the wild card have to win out, right?
Yeah.
The Cubs, they're 4 games out. They have to win out.
The Cubs are another odd team out. They're just struggling here
the Mets,
lately.
So the Cubs have 6 games left. They'd have to go 6-0, and if they went 6-0, Milwaukee would have to go 2-4.
The only way that's possible is if the Cubs play all the rest of the games at home.
And not against St. Louis, because St. Louis beat the shit out of them this last week. For a team that was in the playoff chase, they made them look bad.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, the Cubs would have to win out. The Mets would have to win out. Philadelphia could really help their own cause. I mean, if they rip off 5 straight against the Nationals, they'll take that 6-game deficit to the Nationals, cut it down to 1. And, and then they have to finish the season with a 3-game set against the Marlins. So,
damn.
This is all that money they paid for Bryce Harper.
And guess what?
It'd be a nice time for it to come in handy.
The Cubs do play the Cardinals the very last series of the season.
Well, then they're not going to make it. All right, because they've got 6 games left. They'll lose at least 2 of those games against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And so the 4-2 is not going to cut it unless Washington and Milwaukee go 0-8 and 0-6.
I think it stays as it is. I think Washington and the Brewers play that 163rd game, as I like to call it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think
it's going to be difficult.
I would love to see a shocker, right? I would love to see one of those teams behind them, especially the Mets, right? I'm biased. But any of those teams, I'd love to see any of those teams get on a hot streak. More so because I want to see a 3-way tie for 2 spots. I'd love to see like a 6-way tie, like we talked about last week.
That's right.
I want to see as many ties, as many teams tied for the wild card as possible. That's what I want. Because I'm a masochist that way.
Just more baseball.
But yeah, that's exactly right. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I agree with you. I think it's going to be status quo.
Yeah, the Brewers are playing good despite having lost Yelich.
Yeah, actually,
surprisingly,
their numbers are improved since Yelich went down. So they're all stepped up. Look, there's a team that made a serious run last year, so they're not. I left them for dead weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
I think most did after.
Well, part of the reason I left them for dead was because I assumed the Cubs were going to continue to play baseball in September, as opposed to go on vacation.
Yeah,
which is what they've done.
Basically. And they lost Javi Baez.
Yeah. Well,
and their pitching hasn't been. It's just really.
The wheels have just fallen
It's amazing,
off.
right? Because up until beginning of August, they've been in first place the whole season, pretty much. They went a little back and forth right in the beginning, but they've maintained.
They took over the Central for a while there, and then it wasn't until the Cardinals got hot in July and August that.
And so I looked up some of the Cardinals stats because they're playing pretty good ball, and I'm like, okay, well, where are they good?
Nowhere.
Their pitching and it's not in all categories. Their pitching is far better than their offense. They rank in the bottom half offensively, surprisingly. I'm surprised at that.
I would have thought
the other way around.
No, I assumed their pitching was better than their hitting. But I would have assumed that they ranked 15th in everything because they nothing like I don't ever watch them and think, whoa, that's a fearsome lineup, or oh, they got they got a lot of starters, or oh, their bullpen shut down bullpen. I can't think of anything outstanding about that team, but they play good, solid, fundamental baseball. They hit well with runners in scoring position, and other than that, the pitching is good. But I mean, it's not lights out.
Yeah, but haven't they done this?
For a while.
Like when they go on their runs, this is what right. You start to think about it, like, where did the Cardinals come from? Like, they don't have, obviously they've had Pujols and they've had Wainwright, but it never really popped out, right?
Right.
It's just like just came out of nowhere.
They just they're that blue collar team which walks into work, punches in the time clock, and
pretty much
goes about their business and wins more games than they lose. It is incredible how they continue to do that.
Are we scoreboard watching already? Nationals are up 1-0.
Against the Phillies?
Against the Phillies.
Come on, Phillies, do us a solid.
I don't know. You think they want to do us a solid?
Do you feel weird? Do you feel weird rooting for the Phillies?
Well, I haven't publicly come out and said that I'm rooting for the
You're
Phillies.
rooting for the Phillies. Don't lie.
It's hard to, man. It really is.
Dude, I
part of me is not. Part of me is really. Part of me is. Quote me crazy. Part of me is not, because I just don't think that we're gonna win 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not gonna sweep these last 2 series. So
okay, but
there's a little bit of doubt.
Let's say we get to Thursday and we've won 3, and the Phillies have won the first 4 games of the series against the Nationals, and now we are only 1 game behind.
Well,
no, wait. Yeah, we're 1 game behind the Nationals.
Well, then
are you rooting hard for the Phillies on Thursday?
Yeah, at that point my arm's twisted and I have no choice, right? I mean, at that point I have no choice, which is so sickening.
I wonder if Jay is like trying to record this for posterity.
I don't know. I'm sure he would do the same thing though.
No. I disagree.
I'm willing to bet he would.
I disagree.
We're going to ask him after.
I think he would root for us to tie all of our games with the Nationals, play 65 innings every day.
And just die on the baseball field.
Yeah. Have both
and then
teams,
by default.
Yeah, have both teams just perish on the baseball field and be like, well, they're not playing anymore, so we get in by default.
I think he would. I think he would. At that point, he would.
Root for the Mets.
Yeah.
I think if it was 1 game, right? Like, if they were tied, like, if let's say for example, the Nationals and the Mets and the Nationals and the Phillies are tied, and it's the last game of the season, and the Mets have to play against the Nationals, and the Phillies have to play against whomever, Miami. I think then he might root for us.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Actually, you know what? He would. He would rather they go to the 163rd game against the Nationals and play. Now, if they were behind a game, if it was the last day of the season and the Phillies were 1 game behind the Nationals and the Nationals were playing the Mets, he would root for the Mets. To get to the tie, right, and then win in the 163rd game.
At this point, you almost have to root for the,
other people.
The other.
You have to
ugly
root for
team.
Other people.
The ugly team.
Ugh.
But that's all right. Well, we'll see what happens, man. I'm sure come next week when we do episode 94, we're gonna be talking about the playoffs. Who's in? Who's out? Right? Who made it?
How's it gonna shake out?
That's right.
You're gonna have to dust off our predictions from the beginning of the year.
Yeah. No shit.
See how we did. And then, we're going to have to make our predictions for the rest of the year.
See how good mine were and how bad yours were.
I'm God. I got them all right.
Touche.
What else is going on?
Well, it is Monday. The day after.
Sunday.
The day after Sunday. Very
My
good.
day.
Your day. Church. I hope you guys went to church.
The Lord's Day. If you didn't,
God is watching.
I'm pissed.
Well, you might not have been the only God on Sunday. I think there's a new God in town in the city of New York.
Oh my God.
Just
please don't tell me you actually think that. Oh, wait. This is Overreaction Monday. Go ahead.
Well,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Overreaction. Hold on. Overreaction.
You look like a horse.
No, it's not no overreaction. It's the damn truth. The guy Daniel Jones showed some balls yesterday. He showed some balls.
Look.
Come on, man.
It's
Come
an
on,
overreaction. They needed
to what?
It's an overreaction.
To
Relax.
What? To what?
He played well.
Okay.
I'm
I'm not
happy.
overreacting because you're admitting he played well.
He played well. But let's not give him the win just yet, because half of it has to go to the kicker for the Buccaneers that missed a 34-yard field goal, for crying out loud.
Or Bruce Arians, the head coach. Did you see his reasoning?
Did he kick the field goal?
No, but he purposely took the delay of game so the kicker could attempt a 34-yard field goal because it was more in his range.
I did not hear that.
Yeah, and not to
What an
mention,
idiot.
and not to, the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay, now your overreaction seems like an even bigger overreaction because you won because the kicker didn't do his job that 90% of kickers would have made, and you have an idiot coach who made it only 90% probable instead of 95% probable by pushing him back 5 yards.
No, God. The Giants won because Daniel Jones showed up to play. He was ready to play. He practiced. He played how he practices. He threw 4 touchdowns. I'm sorry, he threw 2 touchdowns, ran for 2, over 320 yards passing. Daniel Jones just needs some long hair. And he is.
So you think he's the real deal?
Daniel Jesus.
Come, my son. Lead my team to the promised land.
That's right. Hey, if he's
look,
not going to do it, who's going to do it?
Look, I think it's great. Good for him. But we got to put these things in perspective on Overreaction Monday.
You know what? You know what's an overreaction, Ed? You know what's an overreaction? An overreaction is right after draft night, all these analysts, all these guys who report and are experts and on our ESPN and are on NFL Network and the expert fans out there, not seeing this kid throw not one NFL pass, preseason, regular season, whatever, I don't care, judging him and saying it was the wrong pick and, nobody's watched no film on him. And then, the Monday after, the kid plays and everyone's singing a different tune. That's an overreaction.
Well, hold on a second. Now, to be fair, I never had a problem with picking Daniel Jones. My problem was you could have gotten that guy at 12 or 15, whatever your next pick was, and you could have gotten a better defensive player earlier that you needed. That was my only problem with it. If you're talking strictly about the ESPN people, then I'm being defensive and don't need to defend myself. And I think that was the problem a lot of people had, was he was not a number 6 pick.
Okay.
Because no one thought he was a number 6 pick. And you had other needs to address. If the Giants didn't have another pick 8 picks later or whatever it was, then okay, you made your choice and that's fine. I'm okay with it. My problem was always, I think you could have done better defensively.
Right.
And fallen back and still gotten Daniel Jones.
Well, to be fair, we don't know. Nobody knows if Daniel Jones would have been there or not at 17.
Well,
nobody knows.
Oh, Alex.
You know why nobody knows?
Alex.
No, hold on.
Alex,
you know why nobody knows?
Nobody knew if I was going to be available at 15 either. But the fact of the matter is I probably was. Right? Chances are I was going to be available at 15.
Let me ask you something.
That's my point.
Is Haskins starting in Washington? Is he a starter right now in Washington?
I don't know.
He's not. He's not a starter.
Okay.
That's why we didn't draft him at number 6, because he's not a starter right now.
The Redskins overreached with him as well.
Well, how do you know that? How do you know he would have been there? Maybe he wouldn't have been there. You gotta take look. I didn't watch Daniel Jones not one bit in college, and I don't care about it. Okay, about his college. I don't care what Kyler Murray did in college. I don't care because the game from the college to the pros translates way different. Did I go afterwards and look at some highlights of Daniel Jones? Of course I did. But if you're the GM, if you are the owner of this company, of a company, and you hire this guy or woman or whatever, and because this is the person that you want running your company, running your ship, then that's who you're gonna pick. You saw something in this person that only has a high school diploma as opposed to a person that has a college degree, bachelor's degree. You saw something, right? And to be fair, the Giants saw something in this, whatever it was. And I think we got a glimpse of what they saw in Daniel Jones. You have to take your guy because there's no do-overs. You can't do it over. It's not like they had the number 6 and number 9 pick. It was 11 picks between. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was less than that.
They had the 6 and 17, and then the 20-something.
And 20-something.
Yeah. And they addressed they addressed the defense with the later 2 picks in the first round. So my point is this. It's unfair to judge until we see for our own eyes. And
I'll agree with that. Except for one thing. What are they going to talk about on draft night if they don't make judgments? Right. That's what this is all about. That's all we do on draft night. Oh yeah. Because really,
they've been wrong so many times.
But they've been right a lot of times too, right? Because look, at the end of the day, the draft is really not something that we should watch, but we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why the commentary and the judgment happens.
No,
and again,
people made that judgment because nobody saw Daniel Jones being the first quarter or the second quarter or a top 3 quarterback in that draft. Nobody saw that.
Right, which again,
you're
kind of proving my point.
No. What I'm saying is nobody saw that, so they were quick to judge negatively instead of pointing out the positives that the young man does.
And I kind of agree with that, but the fact that no one saw it again tells me it was a reach to take him at 6.
You know who saw it? The fucking Giants saw it. That's who saw it.
Dude, I hope you're right because you may be eating crow next week.
That's fine. This is what happened. What happened yesterday was the best case scenario for the New York Giants. Because if this kid would have put up a dud yesterday, Pat Shurmur, Dave Gettleman, and the New York Giants would be the ones eating crow instead of me.
Right, but
now
you could be eating crow next week.
So now people can actually see, okay, this kid. Look, I'm not saying this because I'm a Giants fan. The kid looked good, plain and simple.
He had a good game yesterday.
He looked good,
He looked real good.
And not to mention, and I said this last week, the Bucks have a very good defense. They were hitting him pretty good. The Bucks have a good defense, and in the second half, they hit him really good, and the kid got back up. And if this isn't a clone of Eli, I don't know who the hell is. He must be their long lost sibling or something because he looks just like Eli, dresses like Eli, talks like Eli.
Even like with a helmet on,
yeah,
they look identical.
That might have been Eli yesterday.
Don't say that.
Fuck. Look, now that I think about it, I think that was Eli.
So they've got the Redskins, the Vikings at home in the next 2 weeks. Then they have to go to Foxborough to play the Patriots, and then the Cardinals at home, and then on the road at the Lions. It's through October.
That's a nice, favorable schedule, in my opinion.
It is, but there's a couple of tough games. Look, next week they play another team that's halfway in, halfway out. I think in the Redskins.
Garbage.
The 2 weeks after that will be the true test. Minnesota has a good defense. The Patriots have a very good defense. Mm-hmm. That'll be a true test of what this kid is made of. And quite honestly, not only will those 2 weeks be a test, but then the week after that to see how he comes back against the Lions. right? How does he adjust after getting his ass kicked for 2 weeks if that's what happens? You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's when we'll see the true test of what this kid is made of.
Well,
I'm hopeful for him. I never thought he would be a bad quarterback. I'm with you on this, and that it's very hard to say. But I hope he does well. And yesterday was certainly good signs for the Giants.
If we have any Giant fans listening, listen to this one thing. Wins and losses does not matter this season. I don't care if we even make the play. I really don't care. We just want to see progression and improvement from week to week, and we want this kid to be comfortable. And this kid has the support of those players. I mean, the way when he threw his first touchdown in preseason, I know it's just preseason, but when he threw his first, all the linemen ran up to this kid. And they did the same thing yesterday on that game-winning drive when he scrambled in. The team is behind him. And again, I am going to say this. I'm going to sound like a broken record. But yesterday proved that you don't need an Odell Beckham and you don't need a Saquon Barkley to win a football game. Obviously, Barkley missing is huge. Obviously, I want him to be there. The fact of the matter is he wasn't. You need a quarterback that is going to win that team over and win you the game. Plain and simple.
Yeah, well...
That proved that, bro. Come on, you can't deny... Hold on.
It's one game, Alex. It's one game.
I can't look into the future. We can only talk
Alex,
about yesterday. What happened yesterday?
If Barkley doesn't come back, and let's say Ingram gets hurt, and he's got no receivers and no running back,
okay,
he's going to get shellacked this year.
I don't know that. Barkley was getting stuffed. He had 8 rushes for 10 yards. He was getting stuffed yesterday.
Right, because
why?
But that's part of what opened up the game for Daniel Jones, because Tampa Bay said, "Oh, we got a rookie quarterback that's never played in the NFL. We're going to put 8 in the box, and we're going to try to stop Barkley, and we're going to make the kid beat us." And the kid did. Now, next week, the Redskins don't have to do that. The Redskins are like, "Oh, you don't have a good running back there, and that kid's new. We're going to play a different kind of defense." It works for one game. And again, I'm not raining on the parade.
You are. Ed is raining on the parade.
I'm not raining on the parade.
You and everybody else are raining on the parade.
I'm just saying.
Don't want to agree with the kid.
I have to see more. I think he played great yesterday. But to make the assumption that yesterday's game, because he won it without Barkley, blah, 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 that this kid's going to take off,
I didn't say he was going to take off. I'm just saying that you don't need a star wide receiver and a star running back to win a football game. You don't.
Alex, but no one's talking about winning one football game.
Well, how many games are the Giants going to win?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't either. Nobody knows. We can only talk about what happened yesterday.
Alex, anything can happen.
This podcast, we're going over what happened yesterday. We don't know what the hell's going to happen next week. Hold on.
To say that you don't need a star wide receiver, that you don't need a good running back. How many teams make the playoffs without some help around their quarterback?
You know how many teams?
How many?
You know how many? I don't know how many teams, but I can name you one team.
Yeah.
The Pittsburgh fucking Steelers. They had Bell and Brown, and let's see where the hell that got them. Nowhere.
Right.
Exactly. You don't need them to win football games, and you just don't.
How many teams make the playoffs every year?
I don't care about all that. I'm just saying.
No. How many teams make the playoffs?
12.
Okay. How many of those teams don't have any support around their quarterback? Every one of those teams has a good quarterback, so I'll agree with you there. You need a quarterback. Okay. Absolutely. How many of them have no help around their quarterback?
They don't all have Odells and Barkleys or Bells and Browns. Do the Patriots? The Patriots don't.
The Patriots are the only ones that do it without anything else. Go, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
He's got what? Okay, he's got a tight end and a wide receiver.
The Texans.
Hopkins. That's it. They don't need a running back.
The Saints.
They got a wide receiver and a running back.
The Rams.
I can't count on Gurley. They don't have any wide receivers.
Cup.
He's not fucking Odell. Come on, man. He's not Odell. He's not Odell. He's not Michael.
Really good. Look at what that offense. Look at what that offense did in the playoffs when he was not there.
Okay, again, Pittsburgh has proven that you don't win with a primetime running back and wide receiver, and the Patriots.
I agree with you that you don't. And need both.
Yeah, okay. I'm just
But
saying.
you need one.
Okay, I have preached for the longest that you don't need a diva wide receiver to win. That's what I've preached forever.
I agree with that.
Okay, and yesterday proved that Daniel Jones can manage a game on his own and doesn't have to rely on one player. He just didn't have the player to rely on him. He had Evan Ingram, but he didn't have the running back or a wide receiver.
I agree with you. You don't need it to win one game.
You don't.
I agree with you.
When the Steelers won,
will it translate into a full season? How many wins will that translate to in a full season? I think the Giants could struggle next week without Barkley. And it's nothing against Daniel Jones.
It's the Redskins.
But it's
It's the Redskins, bro.
Well, that's going to help.
Look,
but not having Barkley is going to be a problem.
The Patriots have won Super Bowls. Name me their Hall of Fame wide receivers and running backs.
The Patriots also you take the Patriots out of it.
But I can't take them out, bro. Come on. Okay, we gotta fucking move on because I'm gonna lose my fucking cool. This is fucking ridiculous, man. I've gotten bullshit from you, from Jay, from everybody at fucking work about fucking Daniel Jones and the Giants, and nobody wants to give credit. So you know what? Fuck you, fuck them, and fuck the media.
I give them all the credit.
Because nobody knows what the hell they're fucking talking about.
He played great yesterday.
God, this is fucking ridiculous, man. I don't want to talk about the fucking Giants no more.
You just gotta pump the brakes.
I never said this fucking guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer. I just said he did not fucking need Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley to fucking win the game yesterday. He won the damn game on his own.
That's good for him. That's very good for him. But we're not talking about one game. We're talking about a season.
They've only played one game.
But we want to see how he progresses through an entire season. We want to see how many games he can win. God. How many games can he lead? Not having Barkley is going to be a big deal next week. I hope he comes back soon so we can see what they're like together, because that's going to be the true test of who he is. How good is he going to be? That's going to be the true test. We can sit here and fawn all over him about one game, but it's one game, and so you got to kind of keep it in the rails. What other teams are you excited about?
None really.
None
at all.
Well, we got a bunch of teams at 3-0. Let's see, which one's the biggest surprise at 3-0? The Bills, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, the Packers. I feel bad not putting the Lions in there, but they're only 2-0-1, so they're undefeated, but they're not 3-0. And then the Rams and the Niners.
The Patriots are definitely fucking
the biggest
surprising.
Surprise.
Yes, to me.
Shocking.
Yes.
Shocking. It's got to be between to me, the biggest smoke and mirrors so far is the Niners. I don't know how they're doing it. They've played well. They've had some easier games, I want to say. But I am kind of surprised that they're 3-0. I'm more surprised about them than the Bills, simply because the Bills have had it easy, right? They've had the Jets, who are terrible, the Giants, who were terrible until they made the quarterback switch, and then who they play this weekend? The Bengals, which the Bengals are a wreck.
Yes.
A wreck. All the other teams, I won't say expected, but not shocking, right? The Packers are a good football team. The Cowboys are a good football team. Certainly we know about the Patriots and the Chiefs and the Rams. The Rams don't look as dominant as last year, but they're 3-0. So I guess the bigger surprise for you is San Francisco, because you've been talking high on the Bills for a while.
Yeah.
Before the season started, right?
The Niners have... Yeah, I don't even know who the hell they played. They played the Steelers yesterday, right?
Yesterday, the Steelers, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to gauge them. They played Tampa Bay the first week, then Tampa Bay comes out and wins week 2, so I don't know. Probably the 49ers, probably the biggest surprise.
I would agree with that. Now, on the flip side, which one of these 0-3 teams can turn it around? Or which one of these 0-3 teams is better than 0-3? The Jets, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Steelers, The Broncos. The Broncos are 0-3? Wow.
Damn, there goes one playoff team for me. Knock that one out. Sorry, Denver.
Now, the Redskins are 0-2. They play tonight. They may be 0-3 when it's all said and done. And that's it. The Cardinals are 0-2-1, so I won't put them in the 0-3 batch. Which one of those 0-3 teams is better than 0-3 and could make a run for it?
Man.
God, the AFC East just looks like a train wreck.
You know, the AFC is really a bad conference. Like, I know it's only 3 games, but I can only say that because that's what we can go by. That's a bad conference right there. Like,
the Jets and the Dolphins are horrific.
There's really no other... I mean, who's a threat to the Patriots and Kansas City?
I think... I said this before. The Texans could be.
So an 0-3 team... I mean, I don't see none of the 0-3 teams really...
Making a run?
No. I don't
Denver?
know. I need a list of the teams. I don't...
Ugh, man. That's some terrible teams.
It's rough.
I guess that's, So I guess there's not... The Steelers are probably the best of those 0-3 teams, but without Roethlisberger, it's a problem.
I mean, saying the best of the worst is really not
saying much. But it's not like, it's not like the 3-0 side, right? Like on the 3-0 side, there's 2 very big surprises. There's no real surprises in the 0-3 side. You're like, oh yeah, well.
Yeah, I can't say. I mean, I'm surprised that the Steelers are 0-3, but I won't be surprised at the end if they continue this way.
Yeah. They look rough.
The Saints picked up a good win yesterday against the Seahawks. I mean, with Teddy Bridgewater back there.
Everyone's losing their mind about losing their star quarterback. And,
yes.
And you've got some situations like you've got the Colts, right?
They're 2-1, aren't they?
They're 2-1 after Andrew Luck retired. Jacoby Brissett had a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
The Saints won with their backup.
On the road, too, where they don't usually...
Yeah, in Seattle, where they've struggled in the past.
Right.
Who else?
The Panthers. Kyle Allen? Or
the Panthers with Cam Newton out. Right. They won. Now, granted, they beat up on...
Arizona,
which Arizona's terrible.
Who else? That's it, right? I mean, the Jets are throwing out there their 4th stringer.
Yeah, the Jets. Although, look, small victories, right? Moral victory here. They scored 14 points against a very good defense.
That's 2 touchdowns.
I mean, even if it was 5 field goals and then they lost a point somewhere, that'd still be pretty impressive. Yeah, the Jets, the Patriots had given up 3 points all season long. The Jets almost scored 5 times as many points as the Steelers and Dolphins combined.
That's insane. There's really... Yeah.
As you scroll through these standings, it's kind of painful to look at.
It really is.
I mean, look at the NFC South, right? You're all excited about the Saints. You think maybe Atlanta will make a move for it, right?
Atlanta's now banged up. They have a bunch of injuries.
Yeah, and they have not looked good. I mean, they came back yesterday to make the final score respectable, but they look like crap in that first half.
Haven't been the same since 28-3.
Yeah. Yeah, well, surely they're not still living with those effects, but it's just not good. Not good at all. What else you got? You want to talk about your friend Antonio Brown?
Yeah, we can. Don't matter.
He lasted all 5 days with the Patriots.
What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah.
I wonder why the Patriots decided to let him go.
Well,
they had to know that what was going on, and they signed him.
Yeah, but I think they got more information on the second investigation. Because it wasn't just the charges got filed, but then there was also another investigation going on, and they just said, and again, we talked about this last week. The Patriots, no emotional ties to anything. They're like, fuck it, you're gone, bye. we're going to move in a different direction.
Well,
what direction is that? Whatever direction you're not going. That's where we're going.
Does he play in the league again?
I don't think so. I think he's done.
I find it hard to believe that he will.
I don't see. I mean, look. The best place for a reclamation project is the Patriots. They got rid of you. The best place for a head case to go is Oakland. They got rid of you. The best nurturing, loving, consistent, we are a family organization, the Pittsburgh Steelers, got rid of you. What's left? I mean, what's left?
The Browns.
I was just going to say that. You can go play with the Browns, I guess. But, I mean...
The Browns are the Cowboys. They like taking troublemakers.
The Cowboys might be a place, but the Cowboys... Not now.
Yeah, they've kind of been behaving.
Yeah. I mean, occasionally you get a little PED suspension, but that's different. That's only 4 games. That's not...
That's self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah, that's not... he's not... he's not walking around naked in front of random chicks.
Is anybody taking the Cowboys seriously?
I hate to say it, but I am, only because of the fact that they've got a 2-game lead. Now, it's only 3 games, but the Eagles have looked ho-hum.
Well, they can't catch a cold.
A flu.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. They're struggling. And if it goes much longer, and the Cowboys are playing well, but the Cowboys are also playing the teams that are put in front of them, right? And sometimes a 3-0 can be a little misleading. They played the Giants the first week, they played the Redskins the second week, and they played the Dolphins. Not exactly 3 teams that people were afraid of. But let's see what happens when they play the Eagles.
When people use that excuse that, like, they look at the teams they play, this and that. Well, it's like, what teams do you... Everybody plays bad teams. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the fact that they played 3 in a row at the front end makes you like 3-0. Whoa, that's great, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe the second half of their schedule is a little tougher, and I think it is. But I mean, again, like, look, the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins all play the same divisions, right? So it's like they're all gonna have to play, those shitty teams. And at the end of the day, first things first, you want to win your division, right?
Right.
So when I hear people say, well, they beat these crappy teams, but like, it's still worth a win. Like, if they would have lost to them, it wouldn't have been 2 losses. Like, a
win's a win, right?
You just play the team they got to play.
But here's the thing. We're going to see a little bit more of what the Cowboys are made of. Look at the next 5 games. At the Saints, a place they traditionally have not played well. Against the Packers, who's also 3-0. Mm-hmm. At the Jets, they should win that.
Should.
To put it mildly. And then the Eagles, which is a tough division game. And then at the Giants, which we won't go back into the whole Daniel Jones thing, but who knows what that team will be like in 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that team could be rocking and rolling in 5 weeks. They get Barkley back by that point. I mean, who knows, right? So it's going to be interesting for the Cowboys to see what do we have here. I'm not going to poo-poo their 3-0. 3-0 is 3-0. But I'm not automatically going to say they're going to run away with this division. I still worry that the Eagles... I worry. I still think the Eagles are a more talented football team. They haven't really shown it yet.
Yeah.
They've been... Well. Even the game they won, they didn't look great the whole game. They kind of...
Yeah, and
just got by.
Well, I'll say this: the thing about football, it only being 16 games, is you start 0-2, 0-3, and the division leader starts 3-0, 2-0. It's a big difference.
Right, with there being so few games, the wheels can fall off fast, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if the Eagles don't straighten things out. Yikes! You got to wonder what's going to happen to them. You don't want the wheels to fall off of a good team early. They've got the Packers, Jets, Vikings, Cowboys, and Bills. Wow, that's a tough stretch. Except for the Jets and maybe the Bills.
So, man, that's a pretty tough stretch. That's the Eagles.
Yeah. The wheels could fall off fast.
Quick.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't learn how to catch footballs. Did you see during that game between the Lions and the Eagles off that punt return or the kickoff return, and they went to the Eagles got the kick return, and the Lions went to make the tackle, and the guy got his palm, and it was on the face. It was right on the face mask, and I couldn't tell if he actually grabbed the face mask or if his hand just was suction cupped onto the face mask, and he turned his whole fucking helmet around that it came off, and you can see, so the camera angles from behind the end zone, and you can see both of the guy's eyes. The kick returner, you can see both of his eyes looking at that camera. It was, hey, guess what? No flag.
Oh my God.
No flag.
I missed that.
The disrespect. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Every time I see one of those face masks, a bad one, I think, oh my God, that's gotta hurt. You know, you were like,
yeah. I mean, you're going that fast. Hey, but you know what they did review? Was a pass interference call.
Oh, jeez. I'll be so glad when we get through this season and we can stop talking about reviewing pass interference.
Yeah, seriously.
Because look, you just got to play the referees that you have that day, because on every single play, on every single pass play, you could call holding and pass interference.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how bad is it.
Yeah.
Because they hold on every play. This is like the whole VAR thing for me. It just stop. It just doesn't. Just play with the referee. Look, there are some that are blatant and they get missed. I get it, but I mean, at what point are we gonna where are we gonna stop with the reviews? Why? And this is what we're getting me off on this whole freaking thing. Just like the VAR. Why is it that we can review pass interference but not holding or unsportsmanlike conduct? No. Or, you know what I mean? Like, too many men on the field? Okay, we don't need to review that. If people can count to 12, then hey, there's a penalty. Done. All right? I get it. But on all that other subjective stuff, block in the back. Yeah. Right? The holding. Is that in the back? Is that in the back? I mean, come on. Where do we stop?
The holding probably not. And I'm just guessing is because they know it happens it's hard not to hold.
Right, but pass interference happens on every play. The only time it doesn't happen,
probably far less than holding. You think?
I would agree. Far less, I would not. Unless it's a guy running a go route and he's just untouched, there's pass interference all the time.
Well, as long as the league says, "Hey, it's okay, let's change the rules," they're gonna,
They need to stop. The whole reviewing thing is just, oh my God. The VAR thing has gotten ridiculous. Like, I was watching a game from the Premier League on Saturday, I think. And so they had the VAR. And so they put the little line down. And the red line is where the defender is, because they were trying to check for offsides. And the blue line is where the offensive player is. And they were on top of each other. And they said, oh, yeah, that's offside. Because then the dotted line that they drew down to the floor was off by...
That reminds me...
It's like ridiculous.
That reminds me of a video I seen this morning. They had darn, I forgot what game it was. They show the video is the referee bending over, placing the football on the spot, and he literally went like this, back and forth. He was spotting it back and forth, and finally he just decided to set it down, and it wasn't even on top of the yellow line that the TV was showing. I know he can't see it, but it's supposed to be in line with it was like, really?
Yeah. Well, that was before a ball got snapped, and it wasn't for a first down, right? I have less of a problem with that.
Well, yeah, no, but the fact that the ref didn't
know exactly where,
he was confused as to where to spot the ball.
I don't worry about that's not a big deal if it's not going to affect whether it's a first down or not. Because the first thing that the center is going to do when he gets it, he's going to pick the ball up and he's going to tilt it one way or the other, and he's going to move it. Right. So that doesn't matter. But sometimes they have no idea.
They don't know.
I like it when it's a close play, right? Like it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and they run, and you see the referee come in from the top of your TV screen, which would be the far, and you see him come in and he runs at an angle. It's like, Dude, what are you, drunk?
Seriously.
Yeah, and it's a bad spot. I'm
Yeah.
like, you're intoxicated. You can't come out and walk a straight line to that spot.
We need to review that.
Review the review.
The players should be able to review. Real quick, probably last thing. Jalen Ramsey, he stays on the Jaguars?
No,
You think he gets traded?
to the Dolphins.
That would be awesome.
So he can join the rest of the guys that don't want to be here. No, I don't think they're going to trade him.
You don't
Look,
think so?
all that bluster last week, and they didn't trade him. They're not going to trade him this week.
But he called in sick. He wants
Dude,
to force their hand.
we talked about doing the podcast yesterday, and I couldn't do it. I felt like shit. And today I feel great. I had the 24-hour flu.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's more believable than Jalen Ramsey being sick.
Well, why not? He could have gotten the 24-hour flu.
It's Jacksonville. Beautiful weather. It doesn't happen.
It could happen anywhere, bro. I think it's just a coincidence.
Think so?
It's just a coinky-dink.
Man, if I was the Chiefs or especially after yesterday's game, the Ravens, I would go all in on Ramsey.
Lamar Jackson looks good.
Yeah. He struggled a little bit yesterday, but I mean, he's still made some plays.
Yeah, he made a lot of plays. He's a good quarterback, I think. And I think Harbaugh's the right guy for him.
Yeah.
Someone who is willing to change and be innovative with him and his skill set.
John.
Yeah, because Jim's about to be out of a job, I think.
But no, yeah, I agree with you. Lamar Jackson is looking like he can handle that position.
Yeah,
he's not what the experts said, only a wide receiver or whatever they said he was, right? But
can't throw the ball downfield.
Yeah. But I mean, a team like the Ravens and the Chiefs, and now more so the Ravens, just because they lost yesterday to a high-powered offense like the Chiefs, they should really go after Jalen Ramsey. And on top of that, you're gonna have to go through New England at some point.
May as well have a lockdown guy.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And quite frankly, I think you do it just so that the Patriots don't get their hands on him.
Right, or any of the other two teams, or right. The Chiefs, like if you're the Ravens, you don't want the Chiefs.
Right, you don't want the Chiefs to get him. Yeah,
or if you're the Chiefs.
If you're the Ravens, you definitely don't want the Chiefs to get him.
Yeah,
and the Patriots probably don't want the Chiefs to get him.
Right.
So yeah,
that's a bit of man.
Jacksonville could probably come away with like a first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder, a fourth rounder, a fifth rounder.
That's right.
We'll take one of everything
for next year's draft.
All for next year, all for 2020. You got anything else?
Nah, that's it, bro.
Episode 93. I already called mine out. John Randall.
93. You
got one? Can you think of one?
The Toronto Blue Jays in 1993 winning the World Series. I'm sure Jay will like that.
He's gonna. Sorry, Jay. We couldn't think of anything else. Well, hey, a 93 is a 93. I mean,
no,
we didn't say it had to be a famous person.
That was my final grade in gym class one year. A 93. I struggled for 100, but I made it.
I thought you were going to say it was your final grade. I was like, dude, you were only 11. Surely you went to more than 5th grade. I know you don't remember school, but you went way past the 5th grade, bro. Give yourself more credit.
I think I did.
Maybe.
At least that's what I told my parents. Yes, I went to school today.
You got a shout out?
Nah, no shout out, man. I don't have a shout out.
My shout out goes to Carla Esparza. At UFC Mexico on Saturday, Carla Esparza had a fight with Alexa Grasso. And she ended up winning the fight by split decision. It was a very hotly contested fight. Kind of ho-hum. But if you get a chance, go check out the third round of that fight where Alexa Grasso bends Carla Esparza's arms in ways that are just not normal. She has her in an arm bar, and I'm not kidding. Her elbow is like this, only the other way. Oh. I mean, it was a good 45 degrees the wrong way. And she didn't tap. She said it was dislocated for a bit, but then as she kept fighting, it kind of popped back into place and she kept going.
Oh, well, see?
But it was ridiculous.
Wow.
Absolutely ridiculous. So my hat's off to Carla Esparza for not only winning her fight, but she's tougher than I am, man.
When stuff like that happens, and I'm watching it either live or on replay, I turn away and I'm like, ow, and I feel the pain either in my shin or in my elbow, but I keep watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it's, and that sounds amazing that she kept going and didn't tap out.
I always have this reaction. Oh, put my hands up like I'm not gonna see, but I can still see. Like, oh God, that's awful. Yeah, and that was my reaction. I was actually at a birthday party. An adult birthday party.
Oh, I was about to say a kid's birthday party.
Wasn't it like a slip and slide or bouncy house party? And I was at an adult birthday party, and there were a bunch of us guys kind of hanging around the TV watching it, and all of us were like, "Oh man!" But we all kept watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep watching.
Yeah, you keep watching.
You got to keep watching. Alrighty, folks. With that, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast, episode 93. Alex rants and raves about Daniel Jones.
Don't worry about me talking about the Giants.
You sounded like Alex Jones for a little while there. You know who Alex Jones is?
No.
That crazy conspiracy theorist guy who's always yelling. Look him up.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, you sounded like Alex Jones, which is kind of cool because you were talking about Daniel Jones and your name is Alex. So I think that's kind of neat.
Goes together.
It kind of goes together.
See?
Anyway.
It was all meant to be.
It was meant to be on episode 93 of the Positive Sports Podcast. You can catch us on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Podbean, whatever listening platform you choose. As always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.